Okay, hello. Welcome to my live stream. Found some cool stuff I wanted to show you. You may have seen a video similar to this by me. Look at that. Hate that. All right. Is the music over? No, I'm just joking. So welcome again, and I'm here having coffee. It's noon. Wow, time flies when you sleep in late. And I just was looking at these pictures again, and it's just incredible. But I do have to give a shout out to Conspiracy of Cartographers. In fact, I think I should go to the website real quick if I have it handy. Let me just put some stuff down over here and open up some pictures. Let's back out of this one. This picture is of the Richat structure. And you can see that it's probably one of the best scans, and I do believe this is a LiDAR scan. If this is not a LiDAR scan, then I don't know what I'm looking at. But, you know, I've been there 2 times, okay? You know me, you know that this thing in the middle. Okay, if this were Atlantis, where's all the evidence? Well, there's mountains missing right here. If this is a natural formation of rings, you know that part of the rings are missing. I think this scan is great because it makes it really clear that that's probably an impact crater. And if that's an impact crater, nobody recognizes it. It's probably the one that disintegrated Atlantis 13,000 years ago. Okay, well, like I said, even though I'm not interested in convincing anybody this was Atlantis, I am interested in convincing you that this is advanced ancient technology all over the place. The problem with this scan is that's as far as we get. That's as far as we get. But there's a few things I can go over here. Look at down here. Look at down there. You even see the beginning of some lines down here. Now, I did a video a few weeks ago on the same image, but basically, there's so many things to say. I wanted to go to his website, and I kind of overpassed that. I definitely want to give him credit. His name is Jeffrey Lynn, and when you look at this topography, and we can even add some imagery in there, the problem is that you really don't see the same type of stuff. Oh, let me zoom in. We're talking about this. I'm going to go back to the other image. Right here, you can see the imagery, but when you don't have that, when you just have this, you don't see any ridges. And this image that Jeffrey has created, and I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the website of his. I guess I'll just start fresh. Let's just go take a look at the quality. Conspiracy of Cartographers. Conspiracyofcartographers.com is what it is. And when you go to his website and check it out, you quickly see, and I'm assuming it's this guy. Let's go and take a look at his face, because I want to give this guy the credit. I would be willing to pay, not enormously, but a reasonable amount for new scans. So I reached out to him already in his email, but if any of you want to back me up on this, we need to basically get these LiDAR scans. Now, he's more of an artist when it comes to mapping. So I don't really want to... Okay, and now I'm saying sea level rise. I immediately see the LiDAR. Sorry, I meant to say Namibia. I'm getting a little distracted. I'll just stay focused. I do just want to scan down and see the stuff. I don't know. This one is a lunar crater, Nevada. That's interesting. I know that's Utah. And I do see these ridges here, and I'm curious about this. It says Owens River in Bishop Volcanic Tablelands. I'm not sure where that is exactly. This right here is Utah, and you see those marks, and you wonder what created those. Now we're definitely down to Algeria, and you know me, that's a full-on quarry field. I mean, the Sahara Desert has many different phases in it, and that's Namibia for sure, right? No, that's Algeria. See, I need to find out where that is in Algeria. Hope I can be heard. Hi, Joe. Thanks for the comment. Just trying to rush through this. I don't want to have a really long stream today. That's definitely Niger right there in the circular dikes, and there's a bunch of different scans of those here. Well, I say scans. I'd like to know more about where he gets his data. The Urunga crater in Chad, that's Sudan. I haven't really looked at that. I'll have to go back and check that one out. But here we are with the Richat structure, this Urunga crater in Chad again. They look very similar. But this picture is the one that I've grabbed and I'm looking at. Now, there is another version of it over here. And what you do notice right away when you visit this is you do see these lines going up and down, north-south, right? And these aren't exactly north-south. There's a couple of lines I showed before that I've been looking at this line for the last 5 years, easy. And always wondered, now this clarifies it so much. Let me get into the one I can zoom in. This one you can't zoom in anymore. It's his website. I'm going to get out of his website. I hope he doesn't get angry that I've shared this on my live stream. Maybe I can make it up to him. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Let me double check the sound. See if I can hear myself. Okay, good. I guess I'm heard. So I'm going to be closing down one of my favorite topography websites called topographic-map.com, and this one unfortunately just can't get. There's a few other topo images you can get in there that might help. Let's take a look at all those real quick before we leave. Like, for example, this one. As you already can see, there's no ridges here. I'm about to go back to that original picture and you'll clearly see. We're going to go to Google Earth and I'll show you the ridges. That one kind of maybe. What is this one? Cardo Light? Nothing there. It's very light. Esri Topo. Were we just there? Okay. Oh, that's a little different, right? Not sure what I'm seeing. See, it doesn't show any ridges, that's for sure. And that's what I'm saying is that those cartographers, those topographers, or whatever their job title is, they have created an estimate. Okay, they're not giving you. And what's this one? Nothing. There's nothing there. They show cliffs, right? They show one layer. It's kind of this area here. They're implying that you can climb up there, right? It's not a cliff anymore. I don't think so. Okay, we're done with this. So let's get out of here. And we'll go back to this image right there. First thing, yeah, so many lines are apparent now. I do want to... Wait, is this my image? Yes. So I can click this and get closer. How close can I get? That's pretty close. Okay, let's start about there. Okay, look. I hate it when that happens. I'm going to basically have to remove all the other stuff off my desktop. Let me try that again. Okay, sorry. This takes 2 hands. There we go. Okay, well, a couple things I want to go maybe a little closer here. I'm just going down to the bottom left corner of this picture. What you see is that stream of sand going across there, but I definitely am quite interested in this structure, and that's what we need. We need to expand the LiDAR. We need to expand this and get higher resolutions of these images. We can easily go into Google Earth. Let me see if I grab that real quick. There we go. And see that same place that I was trying to show you in the image. This, I believe, is not even a volcanic dike, but like some type of a wall, and I think that they had a cross through. Now, I do believe there was a body of water on both sides of this wall. I could be wrong. I mean, if you know about my 50-mile canal that goes directly through the Adrar down here and aims directly at the mouth of the Richat, then you'll know that I believe that it right about here is where it emptied into one big body of water. I'm not going to get into that video or show you that, and then down here, it probably passed right there. I do believe now that this bulge, this outcrop, is actually part of the Adrar Plateau, and that we've got sand going across it at this time. Thank you for your feedback. All ones. When you look at this side, you also, I don't want to pull it up, but you can see that this side, the cliff goes to about here. I hope you can follow my mouse. And so the opening of the Richat is 1.5 miles wide right there. There's lots of things to see. But so if you think this is natural, and I do, I think that the Richat structure is natural. I think the impact site is natural. Did they add on to it, as Plato implied, with technology and changes? I think that I can demonstrate that right now. So look at that. They've got so many. What is this now? This fortress? That's interesting. I've never seen that name before. The Mata Emu Fortress. It's interesting that somebody's named that. And when it says fortress, I do believe that was a French military structure from the late 1800s, like 1870. But we're focusing on this picture that I'm going to get back to in a sec. But I'm going to show you where it is on this map. There's a couple of things that we can see here. That little point right there is where we're going to go. Let me go over there real quick. Let's just stay in. We're good. This is nice now. Let's just go over to the other side of this image and get to that point. So what I see here... Okay, let me give you another image. Okay, so this image shows the structures I found the last time I did a video on this image. These, I consider them to be damming projects. I consider them okay, so my whole the whole last 5 years I've been looking at this. I've been talking about perpendicular lines coming from natural rivers and how I think they are suspect. And that line right there, I used to think that was... Okay, can I get closer? Sorry. I get a lot of people who give me feedback about zooming in and out and getting angry. And this is a live stream, so I have to deal with what I got. When you see a line go perpendicular from a river, I consider that suspect, even if it's at a slight angle like this one. So I've seen these, and I'm like, okay, those were little side canals. Now I realize that's actually a wall. Now there's one up here that went across this river, and I think it's pretty clear, and I want to go visit that on Google Earth, and you can kind of see a little line here. This was the one that I've been looking at for a long time, and there's actually what I consider about maybe that's it right here. About 5 kilometers of straight canal right here. If I'm wrong, it's over here, but I think I have to double check that. We'll try to look at that on Google Earth real quick, because I want to come over here and see this line as well. So I'd like to take a quick look at all these different lines. Look at that's a parallel structure to that, and there's all these other tiny ones. I mean, that looks like an artifact from Google Earth, but there's more. So am I dreaming? There's a couple more things going on here. And then we look at the way this line goes that way, and this line also seems to parallel it. So there's all sorts of walls up on top of the Adrar Plateau, which I've been on top of. And Wadan is right there. I stayed in the hotel there, and Wadan is... Well, let's just say that it's basically on top of the lower part of the Adrar Plateau. And now over here, you can see more parallel lines. And with the Kalahari Canal structure and the Namibian canals, or you might call them dunes, but they're like 100 miles long, perfectly straight, and they're only about 1/10 of a mile wide, and they're not even sand. They've got soil and trees. There's so many parallel lines all over Africa that I'm not surprised to find this. I want to look at that in a second on Google Earth, but I just want to go over this whole map. Again, this is from Conspiracy of Cartographers. Reach out to him, buy him a cup of coffee, tell him it's from Stig. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to buy him a cup of coffee or whatever it was on his website. That's an interesting line right there. And then down, there's one more around here that I thought was very interesting. That line right there is very interesting to me. And this is now back inside the Richat. Where's that one line that was outside? I guess it was here. I guess it's right on the south side. I guess that was it right there. But I thought I saw something with 2 ridges. And there's a lot of little lines right here and here and here. Now, don't tell me those are volcanic dikes, because volcanic dikes have to do certain things to become a dike. And what I'm seeing is structures that are all built over existing structures, the river, the natural geology. Okay, let me get... I'm just trying to find that one. Okay, so there was that one. There's so many things this shows, so I'm just going to try to go to Google Earth now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this... I'm going to just close this because of this stupid photo viewing. I'm going to open this up over here. See, I can't drag it, and that's really frustrating. So I have to shrink it, and it moves. Okay, see? Very angry. Very angry. It just disappears. Let me try that one more time. See, I don't want that here. So I do that, and then I drag it over here, and then I open it back up. Very stupid. Very stupid. Okay, back to this. Yeah, maybe somebody can give me a better photo. I don't want to use the ones that are in the operating system when I get the computer. So the reason why I'm saying that is if you know that this one that I'm using right now, it's called see, I can't even tell you. It's it has its value. I like it for some things. It's called okay, I can't find it right now. I'll worry about that later, but it's a photo image viewer. All right, here we are at that same spot in the image where there's a bunch of lines. There's one right at this, I call it a peninsula. It's not a peninsula. It would be if there was water in here, and that is an ancient shoreline in my opinion. And that maybe these ridges helped water, that is a natural looking crevice, helped water drain into the Richat. And if you, I'm just, see, I can't drag it over. I got to open it in something else. So I can show you this and drag it back and forth. Let me try photos. Okay, where is it? Here it is. Let's drag it back and forth. So I'm talking about right here. And I'm going to go into each one of these ridges as I can find them. So let me go in there. The one that's got the peninsula, the ridge is right there. You can see it. And it's not very tall. It doesn't show up on topography, but that's it. And it does look like some of the structures that I've seen down in other parts of Africa. This gets a little thick here, right? So I'm not really sure if something, see, here's my opinion, and we'll go back to this. I do believe that it looks like there's a layer of new rock debris right here, kind of covering everything up. So, like, the lines don't go all the way across. Now, I believe that they may have brought water to the other side. I believe that there's a shoreline on the north side. As you can see right here, there's an empty playa lake bed down there. So this whole area was full of water too. And I believe that somehow they connected, but if not, you go around, there's a canal on the eastern eye of the corner of the eye of Africa. But I'm going to go back in here right now one more time. And we're going to back out. We're going to find that other line. There's one over here. I mean, it goes quite far. I didn't follow it that distance. You can kind of see it. Whoops. Okay, now, yeah, see, that went that way, and I stopped. But look, it keeps going straight this way for a long way. Let's go way out there and see what we can see. That kind of looks like a little dry riverbed. But as I mentioned a moment ago, I do believe some of this surface content is new debris that may have been blown there. Not blown by the wind, but blown in an impact. Okay, here's the other one that's clearly marked. Let's get right in here and see what we can find. Not much. I mean, maybe that's it over here. Yeah, and you know, another thing that really gets on my nerves is the incessant clicking of the mouse. But I don't know how else to do it. That one is kind of not so exciting. You can kind of see a straight line, and you can kind of see one here as well. But with that in mind, I'm going to just check over here to the other side of the peninsula. There was a couple. Now, you definitely have natural waterways that, and you seem like we have something going across there. Where's that picture at? Did I close it? There it is. Okay, so we don't have enough in this, but there's some kind of line here, and there's this line here that I think I can see visually, so that might not be anything. But there's a couple more lines. There's that one right there. I want to go take a look at that. It's going to be kind of hard to find. So I have to, especially with this stupid mouse. Okay, I've complained about it. This mouse I just got it. I thought it was going to solve some problems. It's made more problems. I need to get a better... See? Like that right there. Okay, let's get this line... Are you kidding me? Let's get this lined up. We need to be north. Okay, now, where is it? I'm going to just try to figure this out without showing you. There's that. Okay, so that's where the top of that line comes from. Now we just got to basically... I'm finding it. It seems like it's right here. I know that doesn't seem right, but believe it or not, let me put this right here, and let me put this right here, so you can see what I'm doing. Get rid of that stupid thing. Okay, so see, there's this part, and there's this part right there, and then we can move over to what looks like a line. I can't see it on Google Earth, but you can see it. I put the red thing. Let me get that other picture out there so it's not blocking it with the red mark. There we go. Perfect, right? That's exactly what I want to show you. Okay, so you can't even see it in Google Earth. It says there's a mosque out there, but there's no mosque. I've looked. And there's another one. I'm telling you, I highly doubt there's a mosque right there and over there where we just saw that disappeared already. All right, let's back out a little bit. We got to get this thing figured out. And then I'm going to go over to the other side because I think there's more stuff on the other side. I am looking at your comments. If you have any questions, please feel free. Okay, so let me follow this river here. So that part of the river right there is definitely right. There's this. Okay. So now I think we see something right here. It crosses. That's it right there. That's it. So what is that right there? That's my mouse. There we go. You can barely see anything. But the LiDAR certainly picks it up, right? Look at what the LiDAR picks up. Let's see if we can... Oops. Well, it's going to be difficult. And it seems like it's... I got... There. Sorry about that. This is that other photo. No, this is... Okay. Oh, I'm basically... I'm in another photo viewer that I'm not used to. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, there we are. So we saw that ridge come up. We saw it slightly crossed. That's it right there. And there's one right next to it. We can't... And there's one over here sticking out. But we can't seem to see it in Google Earth. So I'm kind of done with that Google Earth stuff. You cannot see anything here. Maybe it's something right there. Not really. So, why do we see it on the LiDAR? Or maybe is the LiDAR incorrect? Google Earth is not scanning well. Let's get over here. By the way, I've also visited the Semsiat Dome. I call it a donut. And there's definitely some lines over here. Right there. That's the one that's visible. Let's get the picture. Of course, it's going to give me trouble and make me do it this way. We're talking about this little line right there. I'm going to zoom into that real quick. So we've got a line here. We've got a line here. You know what I'd like to do at this point? I'm a very lazy person. I usually use my snipping tool to grab certain things, and that's what I'm going to do, because then I can just look at the snipping tool. So I don't have to keep messing with all these photo things, because I'm done with that, and I got to get rid of that. Okay, let's get back to the picture. So this is like one of those lines right there, and I've got this image I just grabbed. You can see that crevice seems like the line goes to that crevice. And we'll take a look at this one as well. That one's pretty easy to find. In fact, it seems like there's a line here. that there's this line that I've noticed my whole life, but there, now that I'm marking it up, I'll probably start using that more often. So we saw that crevice. We saw there's a line right there. But do you see? It looks more like a waterway than a solid wall. Now I just found some good ones. So I am gonna kill this mouse. So this is kind of one of them. I know that doesn't look like a lot, and we need to get a better scan of it. Let's get a better scan. Exaggerated relief map. Maybe both. Well, I can address that. Jay Walker, I saw your comment, and look, it's not just the U.S., it's mainstream control of everything. Mainstream industrial complex. Because what we do is we become enslaved to being consumers, and so if we knew more about our past and the cataclysms that had occurred, Jay Walker, by the way, you might as well just show your comment. Huh? Why are you being difficult? Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're gonna get the infinity effect going here. But Jay Walker, you mentioned that, and I just want to say, because we're so enslaved to the industrial mainstream way of life, we don't know how to kill our own food. Every wild animal doesn't have to use money to survive, yet humans, here we are, enslaved to a consumption society where we go to the grocery store, and I'm no less guilty of that. Okay, moving on. Tassio Trevisor, you said Tassio Trevisor, you said, is that LiDAR or exaggerated relief map, or maybe both? Well, you're going to have to ask the gentleman who I referenced that has the website called Conspiracies of Cartographers. Okay, so now I'm looking at Fast Stone Image Viewer, some ancient relic. Does well for some things, but does real bad for other things. I'm using the photos from the, I guess it's a Microsoft photo for all I know. And that's going to have to do for now. The point is you asked me whether or not it was both. You're going to have to ask Conspiracy of Cartographers this question. I can't even zoom in. See, it's terrible, the whole thing. Anyways, we're almost finished here. Take a look at those lines here on the south cliffs. This is all covered in sand, but the cliff is still the same shoreline as the other side, where there's quite a steep cliff. You can kind of see some little lines there. I'm not going to even bother with Google Earth on that. I guess we could. I want to go back up to where I was, but I'm just making sure I can grab that. Let's zoom out to what I just mentioned, just for fun. It was right here. There's a lot of lines you just saw. I can kind of see something going on there. This is a bad image. Maybe. That one looks good. I'd like to see that one up close. And I'm assuming it's a pile of stones, but it could be actual, like if it's a volcanic dike, solid granite rock, which I doubt. Here, look, there's another line right there. That actually could be the road. Yeah, that's a road. Okay, let's finish this up. We're going to go back up here to this one area. I just looked at this one here. Going to the LiDAR scan. There's so many ridges over there. You can see a whole bunch of these parallel ridges, but I don't think I'm going to be seeing much on Google Earth. I'm just going to keep it in line so I can see it, and then back out a little bit. You can kind of see some striations that are going up and down up there. Yeah, there they are. Look, you can see them. You can see there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's quite consistent. And right here, that one's quite consistent as well. And do you notice that they're all going across this river? I do believe it was ancient water control. Yeah, those are all quite consistent. That's a look at that. Something that I never even really looked at before, but you can now see the consistency of those straight lines. Well, to answer your question, Joe, I'm looking at Google Earth right now. Hi, Robert. Hello. Jackie Parsons, I'm looking at Google Earth right now. The other one is just a photograph that I downloaded from that gentleman's website. And then the other, what else am I using? I use the topography, pardon me, I use the topography website, and that wasn't very useful. This is very flat. In fact, I'd never really realized that these lines were here, so I will be taking a closer look. Look at this one right here. My mouse, oh, don't get me started. See, I see lines like this, and remember that this probably has gone through a couple of transitions. This would be where the water evaporated the most, right here. Water wasn't really escaping this area in modern day. Now, you can see some other, so many lines that I'm going to have to really map out and take a good look at. But those straight lines that I just found from that photograph that's going across this whole area, one thing, it does go over here too, so it's not like it's focused into this low spot. I do believe that's a low spot. Curie, I totally agree. I believe there's a lot of modern day changes where it was just piles of stones. But if you take a look at the lines of stones that I can show you in Mali, so that's megalithic. And because this matches the Kalahari Canal style, I kind of feel like it's megalithic. Joe, wouldn't there be more signs of an ancient civilization of Atlantis, like more ancient stone structures? Well, let's go back to the image, Joe, and I'll show you why I think that answer can be solved. It's right here in the middle. I know you know this answer already. I'm just showing you, and look at this LiDAR scan. Now, there are alluvial fans there, and there's material covering this edge, and there's some alluvial fans all around the whole thing. But if you look at this ridge, and you look at the fact that there are no more mountains where they should be, because we can agree these are circles, right? That's a little warped right there, and this is a little elliptical. But the one right in the middle is almost a perfect circle with a north escape and an east escape, which actually, I have to be honest, I was there in a truck. I couldn't find that. Now, maybe I was trying a little higher, but I wanted to go over here, and I went back out the way we came in and went back and around because I didn't want to get stuck between these two mountains. And I know that the guys from Atlantis Together who 3D scanned this whole area, the fortifications, they actually walked from the castle all the way out here. 7 kilometers, is it? I forgot. Maybe it's 7 kilometers round trip. And they walked all the way and they did their scans out there. I took a truck 40 kilometers around these mountains. I went that way through here and out that way and then went around and got my heart broken. Didn't realize that there was some quarry fields right here next to it that I should have visited when I went there. Anyways, that was my first trip, and I didn't bother doing that on my second trip. Oh, this is working now. I was trying to do this before, and it wouldn't do it. Okay, so we just saw these lines in Google Earth, and they're quite prominent, and they do go across this waterway. Probably ancient damming of waterways, in my opinion. We looked at this over here. We saw some lines going across it. That's a major crevice from water activity right there. So I do believe that they were trying to control water with those walls. And yeah, it could be modern day, but ask yourself this. What time during modern day did they have enough water up there to bother damming? Now, they say that the Sahara has been green twice in the last 13,000 years. So it's possible, but in my opinion, since we had hunter-gatherers at that time. Oh my God, that phone. We had hunter-gatherers at that time. So because of this whole idea that we were primitive, do you really think we would have done all this work? This is a lot of work. This isn't messing around. I guess the last thing I can do, there's a couple other small lines that I really am curious about. And if I had more time, I would like to go back to the Richat in January or early February. But I'm not just going to go there by myself this time. It's got to be a little more organized. And if I did go, I wouldn't be able to spend this much time. I'd love to spend the time on this mountain here. I'd love to spend the time over here. You can't reach it. And this is another thing. We need a LiDAR of this whole area up here. And if you know me, you already know where I'm going. Right over here, we have what's called the Giant's Quarry, named by me. I'd love to get a beautiful LiDAR scan of that. I believe that this is definitely created. And the way that these lines are, of course, you can say modern day quarry, but these rocks look big. I'd like to know exactly how tall those are. I tried to go there. There's the road. I tried to go there. I was told I'd have to ride a camel. I personally would just walk there and camp and walk around for a month if I could. You definitely need to get water replenishment. Okay, and in addition to the quarry, we need to scan this whole area here. I think that once that's scanned, this whole area here, and where else? Along this area, along this shore, once this is scanned, we're going to clearly see... Oh, by the way, I made a mistake. It's right here. So I made a mistake because I kind of thought it was on that side of the Giant's Quarry, but this is the Giant's Quarry. This is 6 miles long of straight lines. And you're not going to tell me that primitive hunter-gatherers did that. Okay, they were carving into the stone. They pre-cut 6 mile long cuts. They're all the same. Okay, so this is what we saw pretty much. I believe that this is quarry cuts. I believe what I saw on top of the Adrar just now is more like walls for water control. And I do believe that water was used in this quarrying, at least the ancient stuff. I believe modern day quarriers came along here and took stuff, even the last 100 years probably, but why don't we know about that in our history books? Mansa Musa was the richest man in the world, but his brother was the one who inherited the kingdom, and his brother Abu II, there's the longer name, his father Abu I was the king probably that inherited the gold from whoever did all this work. So don't go telling me... No, I'm just joking. Let's see, where are we with the comments? It's Google Earth. It's Google Earth, earth.google.com. I don't use the Pro because it's not as fluid. All right. Almost finished. The theory that megalithic building was a reaction to the cataclysm is compelling. No, that's not really what I'm saying. Let me just... This is so stupid. What's wrong? I'm trying to... I guess I must have resized it and I didn't realize it. There we go. Okay. There we go. Hi. So we have a lot of comments here. And I just wanted to go through and acknowledge Kiri. Thank you for your comments. The theory that megalithic building was a reaction to the cataclysm is compelling. Megalithic building was a reaction to the cataclysm. I'm not saying that. I don't believe that. I believe that megalithic building happened before the cataclysm. We've got this ancient... Whoops. We've got this ancient equator that all these megalithic structures are on. But I don't believe that this was our North Pole anytime recently. Okay, let me try that and go closer. This is not a flat Earth map. This is an equal azimuth projection map showing 2 poles on a single map. The reason why it's being used here is to show the circle of... If you take this circle and just move it right over to our equator, it covers it perfectly. This could have been an ancient equator. But do I believe it was an ancient equator in the last 13,000 cataclysmic years? No. I believe this must have been even 100,000 or a million years ago. And it was still important. People were mining. The Richat structure is right there. Okay, let's not forget the Richat structure is located not right on the line. Come on, don't be ridiculous. All of these things are not right on the line. If you get close enough, it might be above or below. What it's showing is this ancient equator was the main focus of occupation on the planet, in my opinion. All right, almost finished here. New questions if you want them to be answered in the next few minutes. Otherwise, I'm gone. Let's see here. What caused the flood? Oh, well, look, Robert. Okay, there's a lot of things we can talk about. We had European ice sheets. We had North American ice sheets. And nobody talks about the southern hemisphere, and we probably had some ice sheets down there, but it seems like, especially if it was let me just say that those ice sheets probably got an impact probably 13,000 years ago. How did it flood the Richat? I'm not a big proponent of major flooding 13,000 years ago in the Richat. What I believe is that those civilizations, as you know, let's go back to the map. All this mining was being done not on the top of the Adrar plateau. No. The Adrar plateau has a 200-mile long shoreline, and right down below it is a lake bed that gets covered by sand. I think this was an ancient sea up above. The Tamanrasset River came right through there. The Tamanrasset River was as big as the Nile. They could have grabbed onto that and manipulated that water into their own technological advancement, flooding these seas. Those could have been man-made seas. Look at this. Look at the symmetry here. You've got this North Sea and a South Sea. There's also a canal right there, so this may have extended out farther right there, separating them. I don't know why there's a canal right there. You've all seen that canal. You found it yourself when you started looking at the eye and said, hey, that's a canal leading from an ancient lake. Oh, look, we've got a new name. Trig Trail. What is that? I have no idea who just brought on these. That's interesting. What are we looking at right there? What is that? Is that a river? Okay, anyways. Yeah, so I was looking at, telling you when it zooms out and zooms back in really fast, that's my mouse doing that. I don't know what's doing that. I think that if I click this button, forget it. All right. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up. Give me some more. Maybe we can keep this video going on a little longer, but I have to have a lot more viewers. I got 26 people watching. That's actually pretty cool. Last chance to get your comments in before I terminate this. But what I was saying is that there was a lot of water here. There was a lot of water probably here. You can zoom in and you can see sand that looks like water affected it. Down here, there's ridges, but there's also sand. It looks like the bottom of a... Okay, that's not it. It's actually a little farther down. It's pretty wild. Maybe right down here. It looks like the bottom of an aquarium. We don't have the age of Aquarius for another 800 years, folks. Stop talking about the age of Aquarius. It's still the age of Pisces. Okay, and don't forget, we also had the ancient Lake Maghreb right up here that could have been responsible for dropping flooding right here. So I hope that answers that question about flooding. Did it happen exactly at the same time? When you talk about flooding in North America, Robert McElroy, and thanks again for your question, you're talking about probably the effects of whatever caused the Carolina Bays. If you look at the Carolina Bay survey, you're going to see elliptical, probably not direct impact hits from comets or asteroids, but from ejecta that was probably mostly ice. And I think that I'd like to attribute that to the same thing as the crater inside the Richat. Okay. Yeah, God did it. Jackie, Phoenix events. The Phoenix events? Which Phoenix events? Interesting. Younger Dryas event. I believe that the Younger Dryas event caused flooding for sure. But did it cause the ice sheets of Europe to melt and then go across the Mediterranean Sea and then come back over Africa? I think it caused a land bridge between Africa and Spain to be breached, and more ancient Pillars of Hercules that was in Tunisia to be flooded. Now, I'm not a big proponent of the first Pillars of Hercules theory, but what I am a proponent of is saying Plato wasn't saying beyond the Pillars of Hercules to describe a specific location. Plato was saying beyond the Pillars of Hercules to describe the most westward point that they knew when they talk about things on a day-to-day basis. Where the hell is he? Well, he's beyond the Pillars of Hercules for all I know. So you have to understand, you can't just translate it word for word and make it sound like, thank you for that heart. I saw that. Who did that? Yeah, the heart. Thank you so much. I love the heart. It's the one thing that you can't get a record of later on in life. Thank you. Okay, so I'm pretty much finished talking about that, but the Pillars of Hercules could have been over here, and then after a major flood, it was over here. This is Lake Triton. Somebody mentioned that. Here's something to think about. What about this whole big, huge pit right here? Could it be possible that that pit was an ancient mine, strip mine? Is it possible the same thing with the Red Sea, that it was a strip mine that got flooded? And the Nile was used for ancient mining. I invited a person named Canna to come in and take a look. I was talking about the Tibesti Mountains. Somebody did a whole bunch of projects there. These circular dikes are suspect. Down here, we've got more what I call canals right here. These things are like canal systems over here, just like the Kalahari canals. Down here are the Kalahari canals that everybody knows about. It's 250,000 square miles going up here, over here. You can see them all around, but there was some type of project. You know, we hear about and I've shown you the ancient walls in South Africa. Maybe this project brought that water. Plato described canals like this that were 200,000 square kilometers. And I did a video about this a long time ago, but I never really thought the Kalahari canals could have been that. Furthermore, we see stuff in Namibia that you originally think has got to be natural. But when you really consider a sand dune, because that's what those would have had to have been, right? This would have been sand dunes blown in. Well, these are 100 miles long, you know. How do sand dunes go that straight? And then when we see the Kalahari canals and know that these type of straight lines could have been manipulated, then maybe this is another example of that same thing. And therefore, when I see what I just showed you on top of the Richat structure, those same straight lines that I showed you earlier and that are showing up on that LiDAR scan, you can see why I don't think that it's just primitive people, hunter-gatherers, doing this in a more modern day. How's that for an explanation? Okay. Oh, there's more. Oh, look at that. What happened? I got a lot more. Now I have to go through them all. Okay. God flooded the whole earth. Okay. That photo you were showing, what was that from? Jackie? That photo is from a website. I had to track it down. Whoops. Wait, you're talking about this photo? Conspiracy of the Cartographers website. I showed the website at the beginning of this video. A gentleman named Jeffrey Lynn, Linn. Doesn't look Asian. See, this is why this photo viewer has got to go. Okay, let's see here. Gilgamesh flood. Not very good at articulating a timeline for the Gilgamesh flood, but apparently it's before Noah's flood on the timelines, right? And of course, Noah's flood could have been... I mean, he ended up in the mountains of Sinai, so the flood's over there by Egypt, not over here, right? And Gilgamesh... sorry, where was Gilgamesh again? I always forget the Gilgamesh story. Where was Gilgamesh? I guess in the okay, let's read it real quick. Yeah, Mesopotamia. That's what I was trying to say. So that's a whole different space. I mean, you're not going to have a flood going all the way across from Mesopotamia to the Richat. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I know a lot of people see these striations going across here and they associate them with flooding, but in this right here, this is a very interesting striations, and it seems to be happening twice. I think this was an ancient lake right there, and water was... Maybe that was a flood. Yeah, maybe. Here's the Sinai Peninsula, and then you've got Mesopotamia over here. So how is that flooding that's probably coming from the European ice sheet and coming this direction? That's what we assume, right? I mean, there's a lot of ocean up here that it could have drained into. That might be why. But where was the ice sheet up here? I mean, not this far down. Or was it? I don't know. And I don't even know the name of that ice sheet. I know the Laurentide, and I know the other one. I forgot again. Okay, here we are. Back to the comments. I love comments, so you're going to keep me going with comments. So many comments. Yolanda? The blind will remain blind, Yolanda. Okay, sorry that they're arguing about something. Let's go back here. Donate for. Yes, you can help fund my trip. Tobias, right? I definitely want you to help me fund my trip. I'll keep in touch. Chat me up. I have basically more ways than just the PayPal. Definitely can use a little bit of help. And I'll tell you what, not only that, as a reward for anybody that helps me, I am going to get the Patreon going, but I don't really know if I trust it enough. But the Patreon type of situation where, and I'll just keep in touch with you directly during the trip and give you pictures. I want to share my information kind of in a raw form to people, but I can't do it on YouTube. So Tobias, please, how rich are you? And why can't you come with me? Where are you located? Jackie Parsons, you are correct. So yeah, the photo came from that website. God flooded the whole earth to rid it of evil, genetic mutation caused by fallen angels. Okay, Yolanda got a little mad, I think. Gilgamesh flood. Where was Gilgamesh? Oh yeah, Mesopotamia. And Yolanda, thank you. At least one person's listening. Okay, you guys can contact each other. Although, Jackie, I think that your questions are great. Keep asking. Joe, referencing the same flood. I agree, Jackie. It's probably the same flood reference, in my opinion. 5 a.m. where? Hutchinson. Yolande Lewis says, Jackie, the evidence is overwhelming. I agree that the Gilgamesh flood and the Noah's flood are probably the same. Somewhere in time. Hiya, David. Japanese news. 1700, 9.3 earthquake hit Alaska. Interesting. But it's a little late in the timeline, right? 1700? Unless they had some evidence that proved it happened thousands of years ago. Disconnecting the landmass, catastrophic cascading. Of course, we had the water levels rise, flood down to South America. It's kind of hard to imagine something flooding down to South America, for me. And the reason why, now, I lived in Guatemala for 6 months. I lived in Central America. And for a flood to cross this and get to South America, that just doesn't make sense to me. It would make more sense to have an ice sheet over here somewhere that flooded northbound, right? Just saying. It's my spitball opinion. Okay, where are we? Scare shown on our West Coast map. Scar shown on our West Coast map today. Not many aware. Well, I don't disagree that it was scarred. I mean, the question is when, right? And I'm not saying, look, I believe that people were doing stuff a million years ago in North America at this point. So people meaning some type of ancient human, maybe giants, maybe E.T., but somebody was doing something. The long canal should be checked. Okay, for golden artifacts. The canal around the rocks could work like a sluice box. Is that mining term for placer mining? Michael B., thank you. And I'm not sure which canal you're talking about. Let's assume that you're talking about, where were we? Look, I'm not against gold mining on a large, extreme megalithic level. But I think you're talking about this right here. You're talking about these lines that... I've been looking at this line for a long time. And this dome, I believe it's an impact... I believe it's the same type. Look, they're the same size. That's 4 kilometers wide. This is 2 kilometers wide. So there's no center little bulge in the middle. And also, I think just like the Carolina Bays, there was water involved. So this thing got full very fast. Over here, this thing, it's a little different. that little middle part is a depression. So it could be that the actual impact was only 2 kilometers wide, or, I mean, there's no bulge there. Do you see how these lines go kind of perpendicular from the river? Now, we know that this one, right? Which one? Well, maybe this was a wall as well. This kind of looks like a wall as well. Is this? There we go. You even see water in there. There's still water in there. I mean, I'm pretty sure it dries up right in the middle of summer. There's probably some little areas that are... They had a really good rain last season, so they got a lot of green in this area right now. We don't have any up-to-date scans or pictures from... these are those two. This is that one wall right here that I've been looking at. And yeah, there's a chance, but when you look at the stone circles in South Africa, it could be that type of structure. But if it's like a cement or a polymer or a single solid piece like we see in the volcanic dikes in Colorado, then it's a different story. All right, I've definitely have been talking for an hour, so I definitely want to get out of here. I did read Genesis. In fact, I've read it so many times. I study the Bible. I'm not a Christian, okay? And I think that Genesis is the first. I'm getting the hearts for saying that. Is that Jackie? Jackie, hit those hearts 3 times, and I'll know that was you. So not Jackie, but yeah, I have read Genesis, and I'll read it again. And check out Useful Charts YouTube channel. I know that sounds stupid, but they do some great work with the Bible and the stories and putting them into perspective, and I've used those quite a bit. Okay, see, Joe, this is what I understand, but 1,000 years is a short time in my book, and I believe that the Bible's story of Noah's flood might be kind of off, and we also know that Enki was Noah's grandfather, so it's all intertwined, and I'm not really worried about these details at this point in my life. I'm worried about showing what I can show on Google Earth to prove there was an ancient civilization. And how old is it? That's the big question for me. I think it's older than the Bible, older than the flood. What I found in Colorado and other stuff, I think it's much, much older. So I'm not really interested in following a religious path to enlightenment here. Okay, you guys, I see where, and you were there to see it. You know somebody who was. Okay, now Jackie. Oh, Yolanda's still here? Good. The blind will remain blind. Oh, that's where Yolanda got left. I mean, she got mad. The flood was worldwide. How can there be a worldwide flood? I mean... When you say worldwide, we've got separate continents. Did it flood Australia as well? Happy holidays. Get into Bernie chat. I was in Bernie's live stream. Yeah, I'm involved with. If that's the same Bernie, Bernie, right? Yeah, right. No, that's kind of the Tartarian aspect. Yes, I am interested. Okay, the giants in Genesis were... Okay, so where were the tallest giants? Or the biggest, Oh, the long straight one, Michael B. Yeah, definitely got to scan that, right? Here, let me show it since you guys have kept me here, and I enjoy being kept. When we take a look at this mouth... and we go not directly south, we quickly see, we quickly see a 50-mile canal. Kind of wanted to get to the other side. There's lots of things to find. There it is. Is that it? That's it right there. And if it wasn't it, oh my God, right? So that canal right here, in my opinion, is pretty much still aimed. No, where's the Richat? There? It's over there, right? Whoops. I'm trying to get the angle just right, and my mouse is not helping. Okay, see? There's the mouth, and we just saw that line. Oh my gosh, my mouse is killing me here. See, it keeps doing it. I think we found it. See, I see all this stuff, and I think, that's it. No, that's not it. Okay, anyways, I didn't want to spend too long, but I did a couple of perfect animations of that, and it gets frustrating when I can't redo what I've done in the past. And did you see what just happened? That wasn't me. I did not go in just now. This mouse is killing me. It's going to be done for. We're going to zoom out, and we're going to go right to... oh, my God. It won't let me do what I want to do. Did you see that? See? I did not do that. It's killing me. I'm almost ready to... Okay, I have this other... This one should be better. This one will help a little bit. Sorry about that. Hate that. This is my wireless mouse. It's still connected, but it's also difficult, and that's why I got the one that's connected, because I didn't want to have to worry about a battery. And okay, now I got lost again. Okay, here's what I'll do. Because I've got it right here. That's it right there. Now we'll see it. All right, there it is. Yeah, and I also just recently did a video and had the 32-kilometer canal as well. So that's right there. There's so many. Now, don't even get me started with this. I'm going back to the comments. Okay, stupid mice. Oh, I see what just happened? I'm not even touching it. And it's doing that. All right, I like the one with the wire. It did it again. Why is it doing it again? Okay, I don't care about that. I'm just reading comments, and then I'm getting out of here. I've heard of Pangea, but now I'm hearing about expanded Earth theory. Let's go back up to the ones I'm missing. Yeah, I do read the Bible. I'm not a big fan of the New Testament. I'm interested more in the Old Testament. I've gone through the whole Bible. I can't say that I've read it word for word, but I have gone through it, each part, trying to understand each story, each part. And I've gone through Genesis word for word. The King James Version, which you can't even understand, then you go find an American version. Yeah, I need charge? No, my mouse, the one that's wireless, has a new battery, but I haven't been using it. Okay, thank you for watching from France. Stefan, if you know anybody with a couch in Spain, let me know. Oh my God, why? So, Jackie, why am I being blind? Where's the blind? Because I said, what did I say? Because I said that I don't think that the flood happened so the Bible says it happened all over the world, but do we take the Bible for every single literal word? I don't think we do. Otherwise, we'd have to kill everybody, right? I just saw that today on from Dr. Charles Koss Twitter. He made a very interesting point about that the Bible wasn't really about family values. It was more about following rules. It wasn't really created to show families how to be. And I believe that it was rewritten, the King James Version was recreated to control the masses. So I'd like to see the original Bible, not the King James Version of it. And what I read today is the King James Version. And I do research this. I mean, if you think that Pangea broke up, first of all, regarding all that, Pangea was supposed to have happened multi-millions of years ago, right? I do agree that there was a separation from Africa from the South American continents. I think we can see that. I think we recognize that as children. You know, when I was a kid, I had a puzzle of the Earth, and I used to take the pieces, and I used to take this part, and I used to put it in that part. It was like continental sex. But... and I didn't even realize, because my puzzle didn't have the Mid-Atlantic Ridge demarcated on it, that you can see how Africa came from that. So I totally agree, and I've said that originally it was about Pangea, but now the whole Pangea theory is being questioned with the expanding Earth theory. It means that the whole globe was covered with continent and then it broke apart. And that's why we have striations and ridges in the Pacific Ocean as well. So, yeah, the one that okay, so regarding my mouse, the one that is messing up is not. It's a gaming mouse that plugs in. It doesn't have a battery. I actually looked on the bottom to see if it had a battery. Yeah, the trackpad would be nice. I should probably get one because you are right. And I used to use a trackpad all the time. Loved it. All right. Learn about Phoenix events 40. Joe, I guess I should because you referenced it earlier and I wasn't sure. 40 years of research here. The Mayans prove expanded Earth theory. Okay, interesting. See? And I would just actually believe it or not. I just heard about the expanded Earth theory this year and thought about it and said, well, gee, I mean, I'm not an advocate of it. I'm not going to start worrying about this stuff. I will check this, but I won't be trying to advocate. Oh, right. Michael B., was that you? Yes. I did change that, didn't I? I changed that. Michael B., you mentioned that the 50 miles is a lot longer than 50 miles. It's so true. I added these parts right here. But, you know, the White Valley goes right through there. I do think that this was probably a major place where water went through right there. I think that, and maybe take a look at the topographics aspect, but I think that's where it all met. So, yeah, maybe it did go directly to the Atlantic Ocean. Another thing is that I think it's quite clear. The Taman Reset, which is demarcated here, the Taman Reset came out right here. It, of course, remember, before the water levels rose, it came out right here. And you can see those dots. Those little divots are apparently from the Taman Reset River, which exited right here. That's where the ancient shoreline was before water's level rose 400 feet. But that being said, and I do believe there was an ancient sea here. So all this flooding, that when you talk about flooding in this area, I'm of the opinion that it all came from stuff the Atlanteans set up. They created these bodies of water down here. They were artificially created. Now, this little cut through here, I kind of feel like that may have been a canal right there. It's so straight, 35 miles through the mountains, and then it could have come out. But my big questions about that is what created this shoreline? Because now we're beyond any structures that could have held water. Maybe those floods tore this, whatever this thing is. Maybe this was some kind of ancient wall that held up the waters and held the waters in this area and allowed an ancient shoreline to be created. With that being said, I'm going to move on to the next comments and finish up. Well, you know, I don't know because I'm looking at Jackie's. What's rubbish? What's rubbish? Okay, let me read it again. It did. You need to pray first for God to open your spiritual eyes or it won't make sense. That's rubbish. It says in the Bible that in the beginning the land was in one place and the waters were in one place. That tells us about Pangea. Okay, Stig TP. Who's Stig TP? That's not me. Stig TP. And by the way, I shouldn't jump to the conclusion that Stig TP is a bot or something. He's probably a Danish person. The line under the water, west of where the river ended, it goes pretty far north. The line under the water, west of where the river ended. Okay. Stig, where are you located? Let's see here. I don't know a lot of Stigs in my life. I've met maybe one online. I don't think I've met another Stig in person. Except for, and I didn't even know my grandfather in person. So you're talking about this water, and then you're saying west. There's a lot of them that cut through. And the question is why would they need to cut through if there was a way around? They would have just gone around, right? So I do question all of what we see now, and I assume that there was a flood that washed a bunch of stuff away. By the way, I think this is funny if I'm where I think I am. See that little cut through, and with what I've seen, see right there, there's a little cut through right there, and it's like where, and you see a straight line right there. You kind of see something here. So I feel like there were canals. In fact, it's quite proven if you go up by the Taman Reset that this this plain up by the Taman Reset has a lot of, up here, even in Western Sahara, you can see a lot of canal systems up here. No question about it. I even have shown the intersection. I might as well go up and click it since I have a lot of people left over. But I do want to get out of here. Stig, Norway, all right. Not Danish, but very interesting. I guess Jackie knows how to speak Norwegian. Jackie, where are you located? Where is everybody located? Let's get out of here. I'm going to tell you that I am in Southern California in an undisclosed location in the desert. Currently not warm, very cold. Well, I'm not freezing. It's not snowing or anything like that. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I do want to see... Wow, Mud Fossil Gaia, thanks for joining. I'm going to be driving through Arizona. You should reach out. Joe. Thank you, Jackie. And I will be rereading that part you mentioned. I do want to see that Pangea reference you mentioned. Maybe you can give me the chapter. Yeah, I definitely got to get out of here. It's already 72 minutes. I only wanted to talk for 15 minutes. But, I've been uploading some videos, some produced videos, and trying my best to make sure that the new members, if you want to help me, and I do think somebody was talking about helping me fund my travels. Definitely am going to probably put up like a fundraiser for my travels so I can try to do things, and I can make a promise that if I reach a certain amount, I'll fly back to the Richat, and make a promise that if I reach a certain amount, I'll visit the Giant's Quarry in the Richat. Definitely interested in that, but I will. Yeah, I guess you're right. Gen 1, it's right there. It's pretty quick. It's not like it's the longest chapter. Yeah, so I will be doing some kind of a fundraiser. But my point is, if you want to help me now and you don't have money to help me share these videos, okay, sorry. If you don't have a lot of money, you can still help me by sharing these videos to your rich friends, sharing them and asking them to subscribe. I need more subscribers. I need more thumbs up. So a lot of you could probably give me a thumbs up right now to help me out. Iceland. Wow, this is really cool. I should ask this question every time I do a live stream. This is very cool. Hut, thank you. It's 5 a.m. in Australia, huh? And raised in the desert in what? Oh, Desert Vegas in flyover country now. Flyover country. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm gonna end the stream, but we'll be able to keep chatting. Keep chatting your locations, and I'll join the chat. But I'm gonna give you this, and I'm gonna mute my mic. Thank you very much, and have a good one.